Hello once again, gamers. Welcome to Cruznik's Purgatory. I'm your host, Cruznik X, and we are well on our way to finishing up the Path of the Summoner. In our last episode, we fought against none other than Master Sari, though he may be an imposter. However, even though our third trial was passed with flying colors, Principia was ensorcelled with one last fail-safe lock, thanks to that imposter. So, we have no idea what we're going to be getting into for the next couple of missions, but hey, that's the price you pay when you're doing quest lines. Anyways, with that being said, let's get right down to it with the level 68 Summoner quest, Off the Record. I searched through the usual histories, but found scant mention of Sari. 'Tis as Prince has said, records of his existence have all but been expunged. And since my own knowledge is limited to the day I was stored away, we must rely on those lost Alagan records that escaped the purge. My colleague, Rambros, may be able to help us there. Hardly a day goes past when his team does not lift some forgotten treasure from the ruins in Mordona. Shall we pay him a visit? Alright, off to Mordona. Whoops. Hate when that happens. I need to get either a wireless headset with a 3.5 jack, or I need to figure out something better. Alright, let's get... Oh yeah, this way. Let's ride! I hate how they never put music for night in the Around Reborn areas. Here we are. Before we do anything else, I'm gonna mend up my gear, cause... Oh. Never mind. Oh, did I really not take that much damage? Huh.
Yemithra has informed me of your search, and I shall be certain to contact you should our discoveries include any mention of this Sari. There may, however, be a swifter way to acquire the information you seek. I know of a certain merchant who collects undeciphered tombstones with even greater zeal than the sons of St. Koinok.
Ah, you speak of Rowena.
Aye. We have formed something of a symbolic relationship with their consortium. In return for financing our excavations, we provide Rowena with a selection of our finds. I'm sure you would find her amenable to a request for assistance. After all, you would merely need to borrow her tombstones for a time, yes? Here. I penned a letter with my personal reassurances that our stock will be returned none the worse for wear.
Alright, back to Revenant's Toll. Alright. What am I doing? I don't need the car. And here we are. Aye, what can I do for ya? So, you've the backing of old Rambrose, eh? Well, I suppose I wouldn't hurt to lend you some of my tombstones. In fact, I'll do you one better and let you borrow the transcripts, courtesy of the scribes at the ironworks. As books, they're a damn sight heavier, but you don't need fancy machines when it's all penned down in ink and parchment. Give me a summary of the contents when you're finished, and I'll consider that as payment. Collectors will part with more coin if they know what they're getting, and my time's too precious to waste on reading ancient history. Consider it a deal, Rowena, and thank you. Well, Chris, shall we get to work? Why would you go all the way to the other side of the goddamn town? Fancy that! I've barely begun skimming the very first tome, and there are already some promising passages. Let us wake Prin and share our findings, shall we? Ah, Rambrose! Have you come to check on our progress? This charming tone is Principia, a sentient familiar of ancient Alag. A pleasure to meet you, Master Ambrose. Pray, call me Prin if you prefer.
Thank you, Prin. And might I say what a privilege
cannot talk today.
And might I say what a privilege it is to meet such a rare and clever construct.
Clever? Well, yes, apparently Prin was written that way. In fact, we were just hoping to hear an opinion on a new snippet of information I've uncovered. 'Twas an order listed in a record of Imperial military communications, commanding that the fruits of the Master Summoner's research be seized. It appears that the army had more than a passing interest in Sari's experiments.
And what exactly was the purpose of this research?
Master Sari toiled to wed summoning magics with etherochemical technology. For example, he experimented with replacing grimoires with mechanical mediums, and sought to manifest Egi of greater authenticity by utilizing high-speed computations.
Simply put, he turned to machines to enhance traditional summoning methods. Is that the gist of it?
Correct. But Master Sari was never one to abuse the success of his experiments. No matter how they magnified his power, he would not place his trust in machines. Their inherently complex nature was too prone to error, he said. The dates on these communications indicate a time in the latter half of Sari's life. Is it possible something could have occurred between crafting you and the execution of this order that may have greatly altered the summoner's outlook? There was, of course, the violent wave of anti-summoner sentiment that swept through Alag. It claimed the lives of many of Master Sari's disciples. Following their deaths, he began spending much of his time cloistered within his laboratory.
Such an incident could certainly be responsible for changing a man. And Principia, you were unaware of the subsequent events once you fell into slumber, yes?
From what we've learned so far, 'tis safe to say that the foe we encountered is related to Sari's research in some way. Just making sure that was right. And there are likely more clues buried in these records. I shall speak with Captain Wolf and ask to borrow the sharp minds of his summoner squad. 'Tis a rather intimidating pile to tackle on our own.
Well, seeing as you have the transcripts, there's no need to travel far. You are welcome to make use of my tent and the reference materials on the lag found therein.
That would be an enormous help, thank you. Let us haul these books to the dig site, shall we? Alright, let's head back to St. Koinok. Alright, we're here. Oh, what? Oh, right. Right. Our summoner colleagues arrived with a swiftness after I relayed to them our request. 'Tis well to see them recovered from their injuries. With everyone pitching in, we stand a good chance of finding something useful. Ah, here's the bugger I was looking for. This is a record of when the military finally caught up with Sari. It says here the summoner was found dead, killed by someone else it seems. Then we have proof of the original Sari's demise in the third astral era. Now there remains the question of who or what attacked us in this age. My coin is one of those clone creations. Is there aught more to the story, Lieutenant? Aye. It goes on to describe how the Imperial Army took over Sari's research, lauding his experiments as exceptionally dangerous but ripe with potential applications. They shifted operations to an artificial island soon after and began practical testing. One cataclysmic accident later, though, and that was the end of that. This artificial island must be a reference to Seal Rock, the very site of our encounter with the present-day Sari. During the battle, my created simulacrum exhibited the ability to summon multiple Eggy simultaneously, as well as manifest highly authentic facsimiles of flesh and blood entities. The basis for every one of these unorthodox techniques can be traced back to Master Sari's research into machine-enhanced summoning. I'd say we have enough evidence to support a working theory, he then. Namely, that the Alagan military was using a clone of the deceased Sari to perform hazardous experiments, tests which explored the feasibility of etherochemically bolstered summoning magics. And when we landed on Seal Rock, we must have somehow awoken the remnants of those experiments. Mayhap we have solved the mystery of who the attacker was, but now I would know the place to where he fled. What refuge exists for such a being? From what I can gather, the results of Sari's work were bundled off to some secret laboratory called the Etherochemical Research Facility. Wait, we're going to Azizla. You know of this place, sir? Is it far? Azizla? If that is where they're keeping Sari's research, then it's possible the clone may have headed there. Our squad will fly back to Seal Rock and make further investigations. The relics of the past may hold some hint we have yet considered. An excellent idea, thank you. We shall return to Gridania for the time being.
It all seems rather somber to me.
Alright, back to Gridania. Alright, we're back. Alright, we are I know I shouldn't hit sprint when I'm frickin' just hopping the fence, but I don't know. Alright, let's go. I received an update from Captain Wolf regarding their investigations on Seal Rock. 'Twould seem that certain of the Alagan relics have shown signs of recent activation. The mechanisms were too heavily damaged to offer more in the way of useful information, however. I fear we must brave this Aziz Law facility and search for Sari ourselves. Is that what he was hoping for when he said, "I will be waiting"? It is possible. I did not think the detail important at the time, but the lock engaged by Master Sari's simulacrum was not of the strictest tier. Rather, the seal is one which fades upon the sealer's demise. Then he was goading us into finding and defeating him. Another challenge? Or is it simply a trap? I am not fond of rushing into the unknown. Gird yourself for the worst, Chris, and I will learn the present circumstances of the research facility. Alright. 4 quests down, 1 quest to go. When next we meet, we will be doing the level 70 quest and Art for the Living. But until then, that's it for this episode of Cruise Next Purgatory. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you all enjoyed the show. As always, if you're watching this on Twitch or live at PlayStation and you like the show, click the follow button and be sure to turn on notifications so you're informed of all of my live streams and videos the moment they air. Also, be sure to subscribe to me for more access to Cruise Next Purgatory. If you're watching this on YouTube and you like this video, click the like button below and leave a comment. Subscribe to my channel by clicking here. Click here to watch more by me. Click here to watch the next episode, the final episode of the Stormblood Summoner storyline, and click here to watch the previous one. Until next time, Cruise the Gex, signing out.